what have you observed that haven't been able to work or find jobs? There's no hope that I might ever find a job with all of it, all of this that's going on. What do you think when your advice would be unemployed, whether females or males, as industrial psychologists?
In fact, that is a very tricky one, because I haven't observed, because COVID has kept us in isolation. Resources for somebody who's not employed keeps them in more isolation. They can't access a psychologist. Even if they were to come to a person, I've had cases where, not just as an industrial psychologist, because peers would say, as an industrial psychologist, you don't do counseling in it's not even. I've had so many requests for therapy. That's why then I do what you call coach counseling. Coach counseling is, we can do the counseling, for example, for 2 sessions, where you sit, you get to gather the narrative or what's happening, who you are, what you're doing, where your distress is and all of that. Then the coaching kicks in. That's my method of working. The coaching kicks in because we must come to actually identify solutions. You need to work through that. And I am just a platform that I facilitate for you to have a conversation with yourself. I also work with energy. And once that's why then the African psychologist part in me kicks in as well. I actually work with energies. I actually work with cultural context. I look at a whole spectrum of things. So I focus on what you call holistic wellness in all my approaches. I'm going to look at the 8 dimensions. Spirituality, not religion, spirituality. I'm going to look at environmental wellness. I'm going to look at emotional wellness. I'm going to look at mental, because people assume mental health means everything. No, mental health is just your state of mind, and where you are at mentally. Because yes, in that particular moment, that particular time and everything, but the focus is on that. What about all the other factors that actually are coming? What I've seen though, I've had people calling me to say, I think I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to kill my children, because I'm not working. And this man has disappeared. I don't know what to do. I had a good paying business, but I can't, I'm not coping. I don't know what to do. My family, this is the other part here with Eswatini. I'll speak, and always I say this, I'll speak for Eswatini because Nili Swat.
Yes.
I'm not going to speak for other environments. Yes. So the challenge we are facing in Nanakaya is, once a person has been at an economically stable, independent space, so many people depend on the person. So now it's not just the children. It's not just, this person is so overwhelmed by the fact that people they don't stop wanting from you. They still expect from you. Imagine all of that for somebody who's lost a business. You understand?
Especially overnight.
Overnight, exactly. You get my point. And you can't. And then there's the issue of maintenance, where then suddenly a partner will disappear. And I say a partner because not everyone is married. Yeah, boy. And in that part, then there are those who are just single mothers. Yeah, boy. So that person will disappear. And then I had a particular individual who said, I don't see what I'm living for. I don't even have a child. I might as well. No one will miss me. No one will miss me. And they committed suicide. And that leaves you as a therapist feeling like, and it's such a painful experience to go through, where you met the person for one session, second session. And firstly, as a therapist, I feel personally I have been conflicted. how do I charge a person who has nothing?
And they need
me.
Yeah.
But I also need to live.
Yeah.
Like I found myself not earning,
Yeah.
but I had to be there for certain people. At times it's not one person, it's a family.
Yeah.
It's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, I feel like even the companies that were affected by all of this, their employees need
Yes.
And it's being
need that.
rejected.
As a
Yes.
group and as
Yes.
individuals,
Yes.
they need certain things to be addressed.
Addressed, exactly.
To help them move forward.
They just
Exactly.
keep on wanting you to deliver.
Yes,
Deliver what they
yes.
expect of you.
Yeah.
About able to you carry a burden from home.
Yeah.
Of course.
Unjani wena? How are
Yes,
you?
exactly. And now the challenge with that, is industrial psychologists, and I think it's also in SA. We are unable to claim for medical aid.
Is it?
Yes,
And
we
it's
can't claim. Yes, we can't claim because they are not. The last time we spoke, they said we don't even know how to categorize you because you're supposed to be in the workplace only. Because we are industrial organizational psychologists. That's the term. But what people don't realize is with COVID, with everything that's happening and all these VUCA. So VUCA is volatile, uncertain, chaotic, and ambiguous environment. So I call it VUCA. With the VUCA environment, we are all now psychologists.
Yeah.
Industrial or not industrial, or clinical or not clinical,
Yeah.
we need to face the need.
Yeah.
We have been told to do a counseling course over and above the masters that we have, just so maybe they can see whether they can figure out an ICD code so we can claim for medical aid. It then becomes about such a conflict between your personal socio-economic status and platform from which you can function from. You can't give what you don't have. Yet the need is higher now more than ever. There are people that will come to you. People now are starting to call. I'm getting calls from people to say, we heard. And so also the difference with me as well is, I come from a lineage of healers. So I also practice indigenous healing methods. And there has been a surge out of the blue of people that want, and they're like, I know we're Christian, but time and these things happening that we can't explain. So whilst we are in this whole VUCA, at the physical, at the spiritual realm, there's even a much bigger thing happening. And the sad part about the spiritual realm is it's not visible to the naked eye. That is why then when it comes to the psychology that is European, they will then not be able to identify with that. And they downplay your needs spiritually as an African person. And sometimes you're not even aware because Swaziland is predominantly Christian. You are raised Christian. Now when these and it's not traditional. Christianity is a tradition. This is the part that people need to also understand with spirituality. It's indigenous healing methods. The Chinese practice them. In this country, they practice their own cultural indigenous healing methods. They eat the food they eat in China. They don't eat what we eat. Why is it that as Africans, we are always quick to adopt cultures and traditions and customs that because we haven't. It hasn't. There's been a gap.
Yeah, it has been neglected.
So I don't call it generational curses. I actually say it's generational gaps that need to be closed. Generational loops that need to be closed. And as Africans, we are so powerful spiritually. We had it all coming. We had the whole thing about the ecosystem and how it works covered. You feed the plants will feed you. I know. And I always say this, God universe, God, like, it's like for everything that I will heal in, I go through it first. I had COVID. It's something.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was so bad. My sister, we were laughing afterwards when she's like, I had to take a stick and think.
It's
okay.
No, this
Are you
one was
serious?
scary.
It was that
It was
bad.
scary.
And I
It's
self-isolated at
still
home.
scary.
My mother had to go to stay. Yeah, boy. And when I was at home, and they came and they were here to pick me up to say, go to Marvus. I was like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm staying right here. They're like, no, but I'm isolating.
Yeah.
You see that house there? This is a farm.
Yeah.
That house, that cottage, I'm isolated there.
Yeah.
I did everything indigenous. In 7 days, after the month where I was waiting, like I waited for 2-3 weeks for medication. In 7 days, practicing each day, 3 times a day, the indigenous healing, I recovered. By the time the medication came, I was good.
They're like, oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way, you know, this Nigerian COVID doctor was actually saying, okay, so you say, because they said here there's a critical case here at home, because mom is in staying. So
Yeah.
who's the critical case?
Yeah.
I was like, I am. He's like, no, but you're not looking. You look like you're okay.
Yeah.
Like, were you on medication? I was like, not really. I used indigenous methods and everything.
Which was why to come house.
It's Artemisia, which I have right outside my room.
Okay.
And then gom,
Yes.
the eucalyptus. Yes. So besihamba besikha gom, like on our way ekhaya.
Yes.
Kunalapha khona. Yes. Lesihlahla sona mama. Besifutha ngaso.
Yes.
And then there was also the party with lama herbs. My sister has a garden in Panamali with herbs.
Okay.
So there's lavender, coriander, there's all of these different herbs. Ikuba is where it's a NGO owned by I think a European family and stuff. So they teach people all these different plants. So I used wild garlic, tswalisela. The stuff as toshatinyo, that shrub. I used that.
Okay.
I used the ginger, the garlic, and the honey to soothe.
Exactly.
But even the way bengifutha ngayo, bengavuthi buso
Yeah.
bengifutha the lungs.
Yeah. Breathing in and whatnot.
It's not just breathing in, it's put on the phlegm.
Burn it.
You pull the phlegm up,
Yeah.
and as you take it out over the bucket, it's steaming water,
Yeah.
you kaflela khona la khatsi,
Yeah.
so that it dies instantly.
Yes.
You don't reinfect.
Yeah.
So when you steam J, you still take it out and take it in, take it out and take it in.
Oh, then
So you must take up donsa lesikhwehlele, ukhwehlele.
Yeah.
And that's when you feel like there's 100 daggers from the back and the front doing this.
Yeah.
Ngathi ugazi imikhwa. It's the most painful thing I've ever gone through. But you had to do it.
Yeah.
And as I did that, I also got to learn how important it is then in nutrition.
Oh, yeah.
So, because then I was overweight even more. But with COVID, you lose weight because you can't even eat. But I got to value the existence of family in numbers. Because my mother was in a hospital. My brother and his wife were like, we are not coming close because we are afraid.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law also works as a frontline healthcare worker, so she couldn't expose herself in. I had a sister and Malumi. My sister Lumzala and Malumi. So my sister would keep checking me. Then I had a cousin as well. No, said, guys,
Yes.
Yemabele. Powerful.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it will boost your that's the only thing you can take down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a friend. Immediately she heard I had COVID, she drove from Manzini, came and she gave me the zinc. Yeah, but so I used a mixed method. She gave me zinc, then she brought the fruits. Papaya is important because you must shit. You need to take it out.
Clean that system.
Clean that system.